Admiral Franklin Carter stood frozen at the command center of the UES Defender. The massive view screen showed what everyone had feared since the objects were first detected passing Jupiter 3 days ago. Alien ships, 7 of them, each one larger than anything humans had ever built. "Status report," Carter said. His voice remained steadied despite the pounding in his chest. Lieutenant Paul Green's fingers flew across his console. "The largest vessel is approximately 4 miles long, sir. No weapons signatures yet, but their energy readings are off the charts. Nothing in our database matches their configuration." Carter nodded. 25 years in Earth's unified Space Force hadn't prepared him for this moment. First contact. Real contact, not the mysterious artifacts found in Antarctica that scientists had been studying for decades. The communications officer, Rita Johnson, suddenly straightened in her chair. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission. They're requesting to speak with Earth's leaders." Within an hour, the UN Security Council convened an emergency session. Carter watched from the bridge as Susan Blackwell, Earth's chief diplomat, addressed the alien representatives through the hastily established video link. The alien that appeared on screen had gray-blue skin stretched over a tall, slender frame. 4 arms emerged from its torso, and its large eyes were completely black. When it spoke, the translation software took a moment to process its clicks and whistles. "I am High Commander Zex Tour of the Vraxian Imperium. We claim dominion over 12,000 star systems across this galactic arm. Your world now falls under our protection and control." Blackwell maintained her composure. "We welcome peaceful contact with your civilization, Commander. However, Earth is an independent world. We are not seeking protection or control." The alien made a sound that the translation software couldn't interpret. Carter guessed it might be laughter. "Your species is young, primitive. You have split the atom but barely left your own moon. The Vraxian Imperium brings order and advancement to developing worlds. Resistance is both futile and illogical." Blackwell tried again. "We wish to establish diplomatic relations, cultural exchange, trade perhaps, but Earth must remain sovereign." "Sovereignty is earned through power," Zex Tour replied. "You lack the power to resist us. You will be assimilated into the Imperium. Your resources will serve the greater good of advanced civilization." "And if we refuse?" Blackwell asked. "Then you will be removed. We allow 7 Earth days for your leaders to prepare your populations for transition to Imperial rule. After that time, we will accept your formal surrender or begin planetary pacification." The transmission ended abruptly. In the stunned silence that followed, President Howard called for an immediate meeting of all military and scientific leaders at the secure facility beneath the Rocky Mountains. 2 hours later, Carter's shuttle landed at the hidden base. He was escorted through layers of security to a conference room where dozens of grim-faced officials waited. Dr. Alan Morgan, head of the Antarctic Research Division, stood at the front of the room beside a holographic projector. "Ladies and gentlemen," President Howard began, "you all know why we're here. An alien force has demanded our surrender. We have 7 days to respond." General Linda Ross, Joint Chiefs Chair, spoke up. "Our conventional weapons would be useless against their technology. Even our orbital defense platforms wouldn't make a dent. There might be another option," Dr. Morgan said quietly. All eyes turned to him. "The technology we've been studying in Antarctica. We finally decoded enough of it to understand its purpose." "Which is?" the president asked. Morgan took a deep breath. "It's not just random artifacts. It's a defensive system designed to be activated in exactly this kind of situation." "By whom?" Carter asked. "We don't know, but whoever left it there did so specifically for humans to find when we were ready, or when we were threatened." The room fell silent again. "Can it be used?" the president finally asked. Morgan nodded slowly. "We believe so, but there's something else you should know. According to what we've translated, Earth isn't just another planet, and humans aren't just another species. Carter felt a chill run down his spine as Morgan continued. Whatever happens next will change humanity's understanding of our place in the universe forever. Dr. Alan Morgan's underground lab buzzed with activity. Scientists in white coats rushed from station to station. Military personnel stood guard at every entrance. In the center of the main chamber sat a large crystalline structure that glowed with a soft blue light. Lieutenant Kate Turner checked her sidearm for the third time that hour. As security chief for Project Prometheus, she felt the weight of her responsibility. The fate of Earth might depend on what happened in this room. "Lieutenant, I need you to authorize more personnel," Dr. Morgan said as he approached. Dark circles under his eyes showed he hadn't slept in days. "Sir, everyone entering this facility needs to be vetted by my team," Turner replied. "Security protocols." "We don't have time for protocols," Morgan interrupted. "We have 5 days left before the Vraxians expect our surrender." Turner nodded reluctantly and signed the authorization form. More scientists meant more security risks, but Earth needed answers fast. The large metal doors at the end of the lab slid open. General William Porter walked in, followed by Admiral Carter. The room fell silent. "Doctor, tell me you have good news," Porter said. Morgan led them to a display screen showing complex symbols and diagrams. "We've translated more of the precursor data. This technology isn't just a weapon system. It's something far more sophisticated. Will it help us fight the Vraxians?" Carter asked. "Yes and no," Morgan replied. "The precursors, whoever they were, left this technology as a gift. They seeded Earth with it roughly 50,000 years ago, along with genetic markers in early human ancestors." "Genetic markers?" Porter looked confused. Morgan pulled up another screen showing DNA strands. "Humans have unique genetic adaptability. We can survive in more environments and evolve faster than should be naturally possible. This wasn't an accident." "Are you saying we were engineered?" Turner asked. "More like guided," Morgan said. "And this technology was left to protect us until we reached a certain stage of development." Carter pointed at the glowing crystal structure. "How does it work?" "It interfaces with Earth's natural electromagnetic field," Morgan explained. "When activated, it can amplify this field thousands of times over. We've been testing it on a small scale." He pressed a button, and a video played of a small drone entering a test chamber. As the crystal technology activated, the drone's systems failed completely. "The field disrupts certain types of technology," Morgan said, "especially technology that merges with biological systems, like the Vraxians," Carter said quietly. Morgan nodded. "Based on our scans of their ships, the Vraxians rely heavily on biomechanical integration. Their implants connect their bodies directly to their machines." "So this field would hurt them?" Porter asked. "It would incapacitate them, possibly kill them if exposure lasted long enough." General Porter paced the room. "How soon can it be fully operational?" "We need another 48 hours to bring the main system online," Morgan replied. "Then we can gradually increase the field strength." Lieutenant Turner spoke up. "Sir, we don't know the full effects this could have, even on humans." "Do we have a choice, Lieutenant?" Porter asked sharply. Before Turner could answer, an alarm blared through the facility. A young soldier ran into the lab. "Sir, the Vraxians have landed ships in major cities. New York, Beijing, London, Moscow. They're saying it's a cultural exchange before we join the Imperium." Carter's face darkened. "They're not waiting for our surrender. They're preparing for occupation. Or looking for this," Morgan said, gesturing at the crystal technology. "I think they know what Earth is, what humans are, and they're afraid." Porter turned to Morgan. "Speed up the timeline, Doctor. We need this system operational immediately." "But the testing," Morgan began, "is over," Porter finished firmly. "Earth is at war, whether we've declared it or not." As the others left to prepare, Lieutenant Turner stayed behind, staring at the glowing crystal. She couldn't shake the feeling that activating this technology would change humanity forever, and she wasn't sure if that change would be for better or worse. Susan Blackwell smiled politely at High Commander Zek's tour as they walked through the United Nations building in New York. Inside, she felt nothing but dread. The 7-foot-tall alien moved with unsettling grace on his 4 lower limbs, while his 4 upper arms gestured as he spoke. "Your World Government Center is impressive for such a young species," Zek's tour said. His translator device gave his words a metallic quality. "We're honored by your interest in our culture," Blackwell replied carefully. "Earth has many different governments. Actually, the UN helps us work together." Zek's tour made a clicking sound. "Inefficient. The Imperium will establish a single planetary authority. It will simplify your transition." Blackwell forced her smile to remain in place. "We need time to prepare our people for such changes. Our various cultures have deep attachments to their independence." "Attachment to inefficiency is illogical," Zek's tour said. "But we understand biological species require adjustment periods. 4 more days remain in your preparation time." Behind them walked Jack Harris, a mid-level diplomat assigned to assist Blackwell. He noticed how the Vraxian delegation kept a specific distance from humans in the building. They also seemed uncomfortable with the building's electronics, occasionally flinching when passing certain equipment. As the tour ended, Blackwell excused herself to attend an emergency council meeting. She left Harris to guide the aliens to their next appointment. "Your species consumes animal flesh," one of the junior Vraxian officers observed as they passed a hot dog vendor outside. "Some of us do," Harris replied. "We have many different diets." The Vraxian extended a small device and scanned the food cart. "Inefficient protein synthesis. The Imperium will introduce superior nutrition methods." Harris watched the scanning device with interest. The Vraxians had been scanning everything: buildings, plants, and especially humans. They claimed it was to assess infrastructure needs, but Harris suspected another purpose. Later that evening, in a secure room beneath the UN building, Harris reported his observations to Blackwell and Admiral Carter. "They're collecting biological samples," Harris explained. "Every scan they take stores data about us. They're particularly interested in our nervous systems." "That matches what we found," Carter said. "Dr. Morgan believes the Vraxians are part biological, part machine. They use implants to connect to their technology." "But why the interest in our biology?" Blackwell asked. "I have a theory," Harris said. "I think they're afraid of us." Carter looked skeptical. "They have ships that could destroy our cities in seconds." "Yes, but they haven't," Harris pointed out. "Instead, they're studying us like scientists studying a new organism, and they keep their distance, especially from our electronics." Meanwhile, at the Antarctic Research Facility, Dr. Morgan made a breakthrough. He called an urgent meeting with General Porter and Lieutenant Turner. "I've decoded more of the precursor data," Morgan said, his voice excited despite his exhaustion. "Earth isn't just another planet. It's a seed world." "What does that mean?" Turner asked. Morgan displayed a holographic model of human DNA alongside alien genetic structures. The precursors experimented with creating life forms capable of extraordinary evolutionary potential. Humans were designed to adapt rapidly, to absorb beneficial traits, to evolve in ways no other species can match. "Are you saying we're some kind of experiment?" Porter asked, frowning. "More like an investment," Morgan replied. "The precursors were creating successor species, ones that could eventually reach their level of advancement." Turner understood first. "And the Vraxians know this. They're not here because we're weak. They're here because they're afraid of what we might become." "Exactly," Morgan said. "Their scans confirm what they feared. Humans have potential beyond anything in their empire. They're not here to conquer us. They're here to eliminate a threat before it fully emerges." At that moment, aboard the UES Defender in orbit, Captain Lisa Wright discovered something crucial. The Vraxian ships maintained an unusual distance from Earth's natural electromagnetic field. She immediately contacted Admiral Carter. "Sir, I think we found their weakness. They're not just studying us. They're avoiding something about Earth itself. As Carter received this news in New York, Blackwell was meeting with the alien commander again. This time, she had a different strategy. "Commander Zextur," she said confidently, "I think it's time we discussed the real reason you're here." Dr. Morgan stared at the holographic display. The ancient data crystals had finally revealed their most important secret. He looked up at General Porter and Lieutenant Turner, his face pale with shock. "Earth isn't just a planet," he said quietly. "It's a forge." "A forge for what?" Turner asked. "For us. For humans." Morgan expanded the hologram to show the solar system. The precursors chose Earth specifically because of its unique electromagnetic field. They seeded it with life forms designed to evolve rapidly in response to challenges. Porter frowned. "So we're some kind of experiment." "More than that," Morgan explained. "We're their legacy." The precursors were dying out. They created various seed worlds across the galaxy, each with different approaches to creating the successor species. He pulled up images of the crystal technology they have been studying. "This isn't just a weapon. It's a graduation present, left for us to find when we reached a certain level of development, or when we faced a specific threat." "The Vraxians," Turner said. "Exactly," Morgan nodded. The precursors knew other advanced species might try to eliminate their successors out of fear or jealousy. On the UES Defender in orbit, Captain Lisa Wright continued her scans of the Vraxian ships. She called Admiral Carter to the bridge to show him her findings. "Sir, look at this," she said, pointing to energy readings on her screen. "Every time Earth's natural electromagnetic field strengthens, even slightly, the Vraxian ships adjust their position to maintain distance." Carter studied the data. "They're afraid of it." "More than afraid," Wright said. "I think it hurts them. Their ships have powerful shields, but they're specifically designed to block electromagnetic energy from Earth." Carter immediately contacted the Antarctic facility. "Dr. Morgan, how soon can you activate the Prometheus field?" "We're ready for a small-scale test," Morgan replied. "But I should warn you, we still don't fully understand all its effects." "We don't have time for caution," Carter said. "The Vraxians are preparing something. Their ships are repositioning." In New York, High Commander Zextur faced Susan Blackwell across a conference table at the UN. The alien's black eyes revealed nothing, but his four hands twitched nervously. "You claim knowledge you cannot possess," Zextur said. "Earth has not encountered other galactic civilizations before us." "Not in our recorded history," Blackwell agreed. "But someone visited us long ago. They left us gifts and warnings about species like yours." For the first time, the alien commander seemed unsettled. "What warnings?" "That some would fear us for what we might become," Blackwell said calmly. "The Vraxian Imperium isn't here to help us. You're here to remove a potential rival before we grow too powerful." Zextur stood suddenly. "You know nothing of our motives. The Imperium brings order to chaos by destroying any species that might one day challenge you." Blackwell asked. The commander's translator device emitted a harsh buzz as he spoke rapidly in his native language. Jack Harris, standing nearby, noticed something strange. The patches of skin near the commander's implants had turned a darker blue. Back at the Antarctic facility, Dr. Morgan prepared to activate the Prometheus field. Lieutenant Turner stood beside him, her hand resting on her sidearm. "Start at 10% power," Porter ordered. "Let's see what happens." Morgan initiated the sequence. The crystal structure in the center of the room glowed brighter. Screens showed the electromagnetic field expanding outward from the facility. On the Vraxian ships, alarms blared. Systems began to fail. The crew members with the most extensive implants collapsed in pain. High Commander Zextur was in the middle of threatening Blackwell when he suddenly doubled over. His translator device sparked and went silent. The other Vraxians in the room suffered similar reactions, their movements becoming jerky and uncoordinated. Back in Antarctica, Morgan watched the readings with amazement. "The field is working better than we predicted. Their biomechanical systems can't handle it. What about humans? Turner asked, concerned. No effect on us, Morgan said. Just as the precursors designed. Earth's field is part of what made us human. We evolved with it. The Vraxians evolved differently. Admiral Carter received urgent messages from around the world. The Vraxians were retreating to their ships, clearly in distress. Dr. Morgan, Carter said over the comlink, I think we just found our bargaining chip. Susan Blackwell stood firm as medical teams helped the suffering Vraxians. High Commander Zex Tour had recovered enough to stand, though his movements remained jerky and uncoordinated. What have you done? The alien demanded, his translator device now working again, but with frequent static. We activated a planetary defense system, Blackwell explained calmly. One designed specifically to counter threats like yours. Impossible, Zex Tour said. Your species is too primitive for such technology. We didn't create it, Blackwell admitted, but we were meant to find it and use it when needed. In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Morgan monitored the effects of the Prometheus field. At just 10% power, it had already caused significant disruption to Vraxian systems worldwide. Their biology is even more integrated with technology than we thought, he told General Porter and Lieutenant Turner. The older and more senior the Vraxian, the more extensive their implants, and the more severe their reaction to the field. Porter nodded grimly. Can we increase the power safely? For us, yes, Morgan said. For them, it would be devastating. Admiral Carter's face appeared on a nearby screen. We have a situation. The Vraxian fleet is preparing weapons. They're targeting major cities. They're panicking, Morgan said. The field is affecting their judgment. Or they're following protocol, Turner suggested. Eliminate the threat at all costs. Carter looked grim. Dr. Morgan, we need more power. Now. Morgan hesitated only briefly before adjusting the controls. The crystal structure pulsed brightly as he increased the field to 20% power. Across Earth, the effects were immediate. Vraxian ships lost power. Their weapons systems failed. In New York, Zex Tour collapsed again, blue fluid leaking from his implants. Blackwell knelt beside the alien commander. We don't want to destroy you, she said firmly, but we will defend ourselves. When Zex Tour could speak again, his voice was weaker. What do you want? For you to leave, Blackwell said simply. Tell your empire to stay away from Earth. The commander's black eyes fixed on her. You don't understand what you are, what you might become. The Imperium has encountered seed worlds before. The results were catastrophic. In orbit, Captain Wright reported that the Vraxian ships were in disarray. Their communications are chaotic, sir. Some ships are trying to flee. Others are still attempting to target weapons. Carter made a decision. Dr. Morgan, take it to 30%. The field expanded further. On the Vraxian ships, crew members with implants fell unconscious. Systems failed completely. Only the youngest Vraxians, those with minimal technological integration, remained functional. In the UN building, Blackwell helped Zex Tour to a chair. Jack Harris handed her a tablet showing global reports of Vraxian forces retreating. This is our message, Blackwell told the commander. Earth is not for conquest. We know what we are now. We know our potential, and we're prepared to defend it. She leaned closer to the suffering alien. We offer our own ultimatum. Flee now. Tell your empire to leave us in peace, and we will not pursue. Stay, and within 3 days, your entire fleet will be disabled. Within 5, your crews will be dead. Zex Tour stared at her for a long moment. You would kill 20,000 Vraxians. We would defend our world, Blackwell corrected. The choice to leave is yours. In Antarctica, Dr. Morgan studied new data flowing across his screens. The field is having secondary effects we didn't anticipate, he told Turner. It's not just disrupting their technology. It's actually strengthening Earth's natural electromagnetic properties. Is that dangerous? Turner asked. Not for us, Morgan said. In fact, it seems to be enhancing certain neural functions in humans nearby, exactly as the precursors designed it to do. Turner felt a chill. You mean it's changing us? Not changing, Morgan clarified. Accelerating what was already happening naturally. The precursors knew we would eventually reach this stage of development. The field is just helping us along. On the main communications screen, Admiral Carter appeared again. Status report, Doctor. The field is stable at 30%, Morgan reported. But I'm detecting unusual activity from the Vraxian flagship. They may be attempting something desperate. Carter's expression hardened. Then we need to send them a clearer message. High Commander Zextor managed to stand on shaky limbs. His skin had turned a sickly pale blue around his implants. Despite his weakened state, his black eyes burned with anger. The Vraxian Imperium does not surrender, he declared, his voice crackling through his damaged translator. If we cannot have this world, no one will. He pressed a device on his chest. Aboard the Vraxian flagship, locked weapons systems suddenly activated. Energy built up in their main cannons, targeting major cities around the globe. Admiral Carter watched from the UES Defender as the alien ships began their attack. All defense platforms, engage. Dr. Morgan increased the field strength now. Morgan hesitated. Admiral, at higher levels, the field might have unpredictable effects on humans too. We don't have a choice, Carter said firmly. They're firing on civilian populations. Morgan nodded grimly and pushed the controls to 50% power. The crystal structure in the center of the room now pulsed with blinding light. The facility itself began to vibrate. In space, the Vraxian weapons fired, but their beams dissipated harmlessly in Earth's now supercharged electromagnetic field. Their ships began to drift, losing power and control. Lieutenant Turner monitored the readings from the Prometheus system. The field is stable, but it's changing frequency on its own. It's adapting, Morgan realized. The system is intelligently responding to the attack. On the Vraxian flagship, chaos reigned. Senior officers collapsed as their implants malfunctioned painfully. Only the younger crew members remained conscious. A junior commander named Kilvex took emergency control of the bridge. Unlike the senior officers, his implants were minimal, allowing him to function despite the field. He quickly assessed the situation and made a difficult decision. All ships, cease fire, he ordered. Power down all non-essential systems. Some ships obeyed. Others, still under the command of officers whose judgment was compromised by the field, continued their attack. Earth's conventional defenses, while primitive compared to Vraxian technology, managed to destroy 2 attacking vessels. In New York, Zextor received Kilvex's transmission. Traitor, he hissed. The Imperium does not retreat. Jack Harris noticed something alarming. The commander's hand moved toward another device on his armor. He's activating something else, Harris shouted. Susan Blackwell backed away as security personnel surrounded the alien. What are you doing, Commander? Cleansing, Zextor said simply. Our ships carry planet killers. If I cannot transmit the abort code every 30 seconds, they launch automatically. Lieutenant Turner received an urgent alert from orbit. Something's happening on the Vraxian flagship, she told General Porter. They're preparing to deploy high-yield weapons. Porter immediately contacted Admiral Carter. We need to neutralize that flagship now. Our weapons can't penetrate their shields, Carter replied, even with their systems compromised. Turner stepped forward. Sir, I volunteer to lead a boarding party. We can use the electromagnetic disruption to get past their defenses. It's too dangerous, Porter objected. It's our only option, Turner insisted. Dr. Morgan can give us protective gear to minimize the field's effects on our equipment. Carter considered for only a moment before agreeing. Assemble your team, Lieutenant. You launch in 15 minutes. In New York, Blackwell and Harris worked desperately to stop Zextor from triggering the planet killers. The commander's implants were failing, making his movements erratic, but his determination remained strong. "Your species is a mistake," he gasped. "An evolutionary anomaly that threatens galactic stability. We're just trying to survive," Blackwell said, "like everyone else." "No," Zextor replied. "You are designed to dominate, to replace. The precursors created you to inherit the galaxy. We cannot allow it." His hand finally reached the device. As he pressed it, Jack Harris lunged forward, tackling the alien to the ground. The device fell from Zextor's hand and shattered. In Antarctica, Dr. Morgan watched as the field strength continued to grow, now reaching 60% without his input. "It's exceeded my controls," he told Porter worriedly. "The system is fully autonomous now." "Can you shut it down?" Porter asked. Morgan shook his head. "I don't think anyone can. Not until it completes whatever the precursors designed it to do." In orbit, Lieutenant Turner and her team prepared to board the Vraxian flagship. Earth's fate now rested in their hands. Lieutenant Kate Turner led her team through the silent corridors of the Vraxian flagship. Their special suits protected their equipment from the worst effects of the electromagnetic field, but systems still functioned poorly. They relied mostly on basic weapons and their training. "Life signs ahead," whispered Sergeant Joe Barnes, checking his partially functioning scanner. They rounded a corner to find a group of young Vraxians dragging their unconscious superior officers toward escape pods. The aliens froze upon seeing the humans. "We're not here to fight," Turner said, raising her hands. "We need to stop the planet killers from launching." One Vraxian stepped forward. The patches of blue skin around his minimal implants were inflamed but not severely damaged. "I am Junior Commander Kilvex," he said through a simplified translator. "I have already tried to deactivate the weapons. The senior commanders locked us out of the system." "Can you take us to the control center?" Turner asked. Kilvex hesitated, then nodded. "Follow me. But hurry. The countdown continues." Meanwhile, in Antarctica, Dr. Morgan watched in amazement as the crystal structure began to reshape itself. The electromagnetic field had now reached 70% strength without his input. "It's evolving," he told General Porter. "Becoming something new." "Is it dangerous?" Porter asked, his hand resting on his sidearm. "Not to us," Morgan said. "If anything, it seems to be enhancing human neural patterns. Look at these brain scans from our staff." He pointed to rapidly changing patterns on a screen. "Their cognitive functions are accelerating." In New York, High Commander Zextor lay restrained in a medical facility. Susan Blackwell and Jack Harris watched as human doctors tried to stabilize his failing implants. "Why do you help me?" the commander asked weakly. "I tried to destroy your world." "Because that's what humans do," Blackwell replied simply. "We adapt. We learn. We try to find better solutions." "The Imperium was right to fear you," Zextor said, "but not for the reasons we thought." Aboard the Vraxian flagship, Turner and Kilvex reached the weapons control center. The young alien worked quickly, trying override codes while Turner's team secured the room. "It's not working," Kilvex said frantically. "The authorization requires senior commander biosignatures." Turner thought quickly. "Can we physically disable it?" "Not without triggering an immediate launch," Kilvex replied. Turner contacted Dr. Morgan. "We need a solution, Doctor. Fast." Morgan studied the precursor data scrolling across his screens. "Lieutenant, the field is now at 80%. At full strength, it might completely neutralize all Vraxian technology, but I can't control where it goes or what it affects." "We don't have a choice," Turner decided. "Take it to full power." In orbit, Admiral Carter received Turner's message. "Dr. Morgan, do it now." Morgan released the final safeguards. The crystal structure pulsed blindingly as the field reached 100% power. Earth's natural electromagnetic field, amplified 1,000-fold, washed over the planet and into space. On the Vraxian flagship, all systems shut down instantly. The planet killer weapons went dark. Even Kilvex's minimal implants failed, though he remained conscious. Across Earth, humans experienced a strange moment of clarity, a brief glimpse of enhanced perception as the field washed through their neural pathways, awakening something the precursors had built into their distant ancestors. 2 days later, the crisis had passed. Most of the Vraxian fleet had retreated beyond the moon. Those ships too damaged to flee remained in Earth orbit, their crews being treated by human medical teams. In the White House Situation Room, Admiral Carter, General Porter, Susan Blackwell, and Dr. Morgan met with the President. "The Prometheus field has stabilized at 20% strength," Morgan reported. "Enough to protect Earth from another attack, but not harmful to properly shielded Vraxian visitors." "And Commander Kilvex?" the President asked. "He's agreed to serve as interim representative of the Vraxian forces," Blackwell said. "He's young, with few implants, and seems genuinely interested in peaceful relations." "What about the long term?" Porter asked. "The Imperium still exists. They could return with adapted technology." Morgan smiled slightly. "The precursor system left us more than just a defense. It gave us knowledge. Understanding of technology centuries beyond our current level, and the field itself has accelerated certain human neural development. We're advancing faster than anyone expected, even the Vraxians." The President nodded slowly. "So we prepare, we learn, we grow. And we remember what makes us human," Blackwell added. "Our ability to adapt, to show compassion, to find solutions beyond simple destruction." On the observation deck of the UES Defender, Admiral Carter stood with Captain Wright, watching Earth rotate peacefully below them. "Do you think the Vraxians will keep their word about peaceful relations?" Wright asked. Carter smiled. "They don't have much choice now. But more importantly, we gave them a reason to try. We could have destroyed them all. We chose not to." That's what the precursors were counting on, Wright realized. Not just our potential for power, but our potential for wisdom. Carter nodded as he looked out at the stars. "And that's the real gift they left us."